I'm John Rankin, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about guitar and some simple things to do to improve your playing and your warm-ups. Warming up is really something you can change every day. It's not something you should probably approach rigidly, but something you want to do to get familiar with the guitar again, just to kind of make friends with it. And I start with working with the fretboard hand first, actually, and I like to warm up with slurs. Slurs in guitar players called hammer-ons or pull-offs. So this is a typical warm-up for me for the fretboard hand, what most of you will call the left hand. That's one sequence, each one of those 4 times. Then I'll move it up and down the neck. Up usually first because the frets are closer together. So I want to hit it hard enough to make the sound, not any harder than that. And not to, these fingers can move with it, but really I'm just working this one muscle right here. So this develops finger independence and strength and just about everything you want to do with this hand. After that, the pull-offs come, the same thing in reverse. 2-1, 3-1, 4-3, 4-2, 4-1, 3-1, 2-1. Very different mechanical exercise. I'm actually plucking with my finger, so you don't want to push hard. You can, as a matter of fact, you can push very light. The third step would be to combine them. And so forth. But that's the least important. The hammer-ons will give you the most hand development, and the pull-offs will teach you other techniques you can use. So you can keep doing them. Try not to strain your hand. The idea is to be relaxed and keep your fingers close. Don't point the pinky away, keep it close. Most people don't have the pinky close enough. They're like this. So you generally want to supinate. You want to turn your hand so it's more parallel to the floor or the ceiling, and balance the length of the finger around the pinky. And the most important thing about this hand of all, no matter what kind of music you play, is that try and keep your wrist flat. Don't bend it out like this or up like this. Sometimes people hook their thumb up and bring it up. But you want to keep your wrist flat as it moves across, or as flat as possible, even when you play a bar chord, because this is where you're going to hurt your wrist the most. So that's what I would say about this hand. And this hand I would like to start really simply. I start with just one finger on one string and get used to that finger. And then I'll do the next finger for a while till I'm comfortable, and then I'll mix them together. Same rule applies with a pick. I start with all downstrokes, which are the more natural, easier. And I try and get on the very tip of the pick, very even. The string almost dead on, the pick almost dead on the string, maybe slightly angled, just a little bit like this or like this, but not down like this. Keep it even, on the very tip. Then try just upstrokes and try and get the same sound. Relax all the way to the shoulder. There's down, up. And then I mix them together and try and get the same tone and the same response and same degree of relaxation out of both of them. It really helps to break it down to just one at a time. Then you kind of see how each finger in action works, and you can put them together. There's one other thing that I really like to do that I've discovered late in life. I do simpler things as I warm up, not more complicated. And one thing I found is that it's hard to keep fluid moving up and down the neck. So one thing I do is I'll play on one string. That's an F scale, for example. Just one finger, nothing big, but to get my arm moving fluidly, to keep it from being kind of stuck in position, you know? And sometimes I'll do it with my eyes closed. Little vibrato. Just try and play pretty. And I find it really helps to loosen up the upper arm, because the longer you play, the probably more you'll find that you actually play from the shoulders, that you have to keep your whole arm free to move. You're playing with the fingers, but it starts here at the shoulder with a lot of flexibility, and that's true for both arms. I want to talk about one of my favorite discoveries. It's called sing and play. It's not a very difficult concept to understand. It's something you can work on for a long time. Basically, I sing and then I play what I sing. I'll give you an example. This is the way that I started. I'm going to do a G blues scale at the 3rd fret. It's a minor pentatonic. And I'm going to start here and just try and sing and play one phrase. And what that does is it clues me into what I call my inner voice. And I believe that this kind of process links your ear more directly to your hand, and the brain is relegated to the task of just interpreting what you sing. And when you think about singing, we'll put vibrato and staccatos and sliding notes, scoops, and all kinds of little subtleties, nuances that we might not think of just intellectually. So I try and copy those little phrases, the short notes, and the vibrato. And it makes a more melodic phrase, which makes your listeners understand it better and intuitively feel connected to it. And it also limits the range of the guitar, because the singer won't go 2 octaves like that. They'll work around a smaller zone. And so it's something that helps your lines be more melodic and more interesting. And also you start listening to the voice that's inside of you and creating a line out of your unconscious and not your conscious. And pretty soon you won't have to sing to play. You can hear the line before you play it inside your mind, and your brain will translate it to your fingers. And that's the goal, to be kind of transparent, to be able to think something and put it directly into your fingers. Another thing I'd like to talk about is something I learned quite a few years ago called tune a day. And it's very similar. And it's a simple thing to explain. Just play a melody by ear. And it's best to pick a very simple melody that you know, like Happy Birthday, or maybe a Christmas carol, or a folk song. And just try and play it the first time, just by ear. Let's see, let's take This Old Man. So that, again, it's connecting my brain to my fingers, or my ear to my fingers, excuse me, through the brain. So I'm hearing the melody and playing it with my fingers. And that teaches me to phrase, to play vibrato, to put the accent on the right word. I kind of think the words when I play it, and that helps me phrase a little bit better. And it's something you'll find that'll help you develop your melodic sense. So that's it. Those simple ideas, I think, should help you. They help me, and I still use them. I hope you learned something. Thanks.